Hello, my name is Louise and I'm back for another tutorial on how to do Canoepolo things. So this time we'll be doing some bumpers, and this is not my boat, but it's one of my friend's boat, whom I have promised to fix the bumpers off for this weekend's tournament here in Denmark. So when you want to do the bumpers, you will need, if you have a well-prepared boat at least, you'll need bumpers. In this case we only need the front bumper, and do note that there is a big size difference, so do remember to check out whether or not it's a front bumper that you do have in your stock or if it's a back bumper, because it would suck to put a back bumper on the front and then it fails scrutineering if you're doing that in your country. The next thing you need is some contact glue. You need some gloves for applying the contact glue, some kind of fabric, and some kind of alcohol to degrease the area. If you already have a bumper on your boat, to remove that you need some kind of knife to probably cut it off. You can use a file to get it clean from the rest of the bumper and the old glue, and you can also use some sandpaper. You can use pretty much anything that can like remove things from rough surfaces. Other than that, there are also some attachments that you can use on a drill to like really brush off the rest without damaging the boat too much. But that's probably for another video, because in this video I'm only applying the bumper. So this is what the boat looks like at the moment. As much as possible of the old glue and stuff has been removed. And it's pretty important to take good care of your boat, so you do sometimes need to scratch things a little bit to make the glue stick, but make sure not to do it too much, and please don't destroy your boat just to put on a bumper. If you're not able to get your boat this clean from the old bumper, don't worry. If you cannot get the piece off your boat, then it will probably not fall off, and thereby you'll be able to just glue the bumper on as it would be. So don't worry too much about that. The next step is glue. The next thing we need to do is to degrease both the bumper and the boat. And in Denmark we use rubbing alcohol. It can be any kind of degreaser, but I prefer this, and it's also not so rough for the skin, so I don't have to wear gloves for this. I would recommend using some kind of fabric to do this, because if you use like some paper towels, they sometimes leave some paper rests, and you don't want that behind your bumper, because it might make it harder to stick. So I'm just gonna apply that both to the boat and to the inside of the bumper all around to try and degrease it. So now the next step is to apply the glue, and every time you work with glue on boats and everything, please make sure to use gloves. If you're really good, you also use a face mask and maybe some glasses just to not get it in your eyes, but I'm not that careful, I guess. So yeah. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm first of course gonna read what it says on the back, because that tells me how long time the glue has to dry, and that's pretty important, and it's very different from different types of glues. So depending on what you use from your country, I recommend reading that. When I apply the glue, I make sure to not use too much, but also not use too little. I make sure to go all around the bumper, and especially go out on the sides, so like all the way to the edge, because you really want the edge to stick. That is one of the most important parts. So this is what the boat looks like after I applied the glue. You can't really see the glue that much, but you also really don't want to use too much. Just make sure to get all around the edge, so that you make sure that the edge of the bumper will stick. And this is the bumper. Notice how I really went all the way. Okay, so that is a little bit under the side, but really went all the way to the edge. It is really important. So now we just gotta wait 15 minutes until it's dry, and I'll get back to you. Okay, so now that the glue has dried up on both sides, make sure to figure out if there's an up and down side to the bumper. In this case, I don't think there is, but otherwise you can also check that beforehand. I think I will put it on this way. I would also recommend that you have an extra person helping you, and I do in this case, and it's my mom. She's just pushing on the other side, but she didn't want to be in the video. So just make sure you have somebody standing at the end of the boat, like pushing, because you're going to push, and if you just push, it's not going to stick. So there's some different techniques to doing this. I recommend that you try and like spread it apart, start in the middle, and then like push it on like outward. Some people also just put it on, some start at one side and continue to the other. I just prefer starting with the middle. So at first I just go ahead, put it in the middle, and then I gently start pushing on both sides. And then when I feel like I have a good push, I try and push it all the way on both sides. And then I just go ahead and start pushing all along the edge, just to make sure that it has a good grip. And that's sometimes pretty important, because if you don't get the edge to stick, that was why I was so I said so many times that you have to put the glue along the edge, because sometimes you'll see that when you put the bumper on, that if you did not put the glue on the edge of the bumper, that it will be gaping and water will just flow down there, and then at some point the force of water will just take off the glue slowly. So make sure to really get the edges pushed in. Then usually what I would recommend doing is like turning the boat upside down, doing the same on the bottom, but I'm just doing it on the bottom with my fingers, not having to turn the boat around. Also, this bumper is really nice, so it's really easy to do. Some bumpers are really hard doing this with. So that's actually it. So all the rest of the glue that is on the boat in areas where there's no bumper, because I was just putting more glue on than what I needed, because rather that than the opposite, I can just get off with my fingers. I don't know what this motion is called in English, but it's really easy. And now for this glue, it says that it's gonna be hard in 1 hour. So I wouldn't recommend using the boat within that first hour. But otherwise, if you're at a tournament, just go ahead. Right now it should be stuck, but be careful. And if you're able to wait, then maybe wait 24 hours just to be sure. You can also do some taping around, just to keep the force on the bumper for as long as possible, and just make sure not to use duct tape, because it sometimes do stick too much to the bumper, so it'll leave some residue, and that's not nice. But that's actually it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and show the final results, and I'm pretty happy with this. Yep. So I hope you found this video helpful, and make sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'll be trying to make as many videos of different things that I'm doing with my polo gear, and maybe other people's polo gear, just to educate other people, so hopefully the community will be able to help themselves better in the future. Bye!